Welcome to the Parent Cafe Classroom, where parents get strategies for helping their children learn to read and read to learn, essentially learning how to tutor their children. If your child is currently in an elementary or middle school and is struggling with reading, this classroom is just for you. If your child merely needs support and you are using our Parents as Tutors series, this is just for you. If you are interested in preparing your child for kindergarten readiness, this class is definitely for you. Parents who use our Parent Cafe Classroom along with our Parents as Tutors series are finding that their children are experiencing improved fluency and a higher level of comprehension. English language learners are also finding our classroom to be beneficial. Come join us in the Parent Cafe Classroom and learn how to be your child's tutor.
Parents, welcome to part 2 of comparing and contrasting. Now, if you've not yet looked at comparing and contrasting part 1, I'm encouraging you to go back to that video. It's how to deepen reading and writing, comparing and contrasting part 1. How to deepen reading and writing, comparing and contrasting part 1. So here's part 2 of it. In part 1, Romel gathered information from 2 non-fiction texts. Non-fiction. That means you're not going to find stories about a whale and a character and a setting. Not at all. Or the same thing for a dolphin. In non-fiction texts, you're getting information, whether they're defining and explaining or they're teaching you how to do something. So this is the kind of genre that I'm expecting you to encourage more of. Have your children read nonfiction texts. That's what Romel did. Then Romel gathered information from them, and Romel wanted to know similarities and differences. So in part 1, Romel figured out what features he wanted to focus on when comparing and contrasting the dolphin and the whales. And then Romel actually found out the information based on the features. Romel used a Venn diagram to lay out that information, and he also did a comparison chart. So I encourage you to go to part 1 and look. However, I'm going to be continuing with part 2. Now with part 2, Romel will be using the information he gathered from both books to actually write a comparing, contrasting essay. So follow along as Romel shows you how he's going to write. Welcome, parents. Welcome to part 2, where Romel will share with you how he will be writing his comparing and contrasting essay. Now, I'll be questioning Romel because there are some things I need Romel to really understand before he starts writing. And everything I'm asking Romel is what I want you to ask your children before they start writing. The first thing is, what's the purpose for writing? What is the purpose for writing? The next thing you'll ask your children are, what transitional words they'll be using. What transitional words will you be using? They need to have these things prepared. You need to also know what the opening sentence will be. It has got to be a sentence that will capture the reader's attention. And they need to understand the structure, the organizational structure, how they're going to organize this essay that they're writing. So follow along. See, Romel is over here putting up his transitional words. So follow along and hear the way I question Romel. Romel, are you through?
Yes.
Okay. Romel, I'm going to share my pointer with you because I'll be asking you a few questions and I'd like you to point things out for me. So Romel, you are an author. I see it on your hat.
Yeah.
Okay, author Romel. So what is the author's purpose for writing this essay?
The author purpose, myself, is to inform, explain, and describe the topic.
Okay. Who are you informing?
I'm informing the readers.
Okay, so you're informing the readers. And in your informing, you will also be?
Explaining and describing.
I also see persuade and entertain up there as purpose for writing. Should I take it that you will not be entertaining anyone? You will not be persuading anyone?
No, no. It is to inform, explain, and describe only.
Okay, parents, so if Romel's purpose is to only inform, explain, and describe, we should not see any kind of conversational text written where he's giving jokes and trying to get them to laugh and entertain. And we should not see any sentence in there as though he's actually trying to convince them to do something, because he's not writing to persuade. Very important. Watch this now. So, what transitional words will you be using in your essay?
Some transitional words that I'll be using in my essay are same, unlike, similar, in the same way, and different.
Why did you choose those transitional words, Romel?
I chose those transitional words because they work in the theme of comparing and contrasting.
Oh, I
how
just
things
love the
are
way your
different
vocabulary.
and similar.
I love the way your vocabulary is really. You use the word theme. You're learning, Romel. Put that on your sight word wall.
Yes.
Theme. Okay, so Romel said that he selected same, unlike, similar, in the same way, different. Those are transitional words that Romel will use to join what? What will you be using them to join?
To join the similarities and the differences.
You use your transitional words to join your sentences.
Yes. Of comparing and contrasting.
Yes. So your essay, we get it, is going to be comparing and contrasting. But as you write your sentences, you will be joining them using those transitional words. And what Romel said is that those transitional words are specific to comparing and contrasting. Okay. So Romel understands how he will be organizing, because his text structure will be comparing and contrasting. Now, Romel, here's what I need you to have in your essay. Now that you understand, you won't be writing anything, you won't be to persuade anyone or convince or to entertain anyone. You'll be given the information. You're digging deep into explaining and describing. Now you know that the words I need in your first paragraph will be the features. So in your first paragraph, I need to see these words used along with your transitional words as you create your sentences. And over here, where you already flushed out the differences and the similarities between the differences and the whale, differences between the dolphin and the whales, you will, in your first paragraph, tell us which features for both were different and which ones were similar, using these words. Okay? So that's what you'll be demonstrating. Last question before you begin. What will you use to hook your readers and get their attention and make them want to read?
Yes. I'll be using, as I said before, the theme, which is similarities and differences. But the way that I word the sentence will definitely hook my audience, the readers, and make them want to know more about the similarities and the differences between the whales and the dolphins. Something to look forward to.
To actually hook your readers, in other words, getting their attention, wanting them to read more, it is going to happen in that very first sentence. So what will your first sentence be that will get them to want to read more?
Oh, yes. first sentence that will get my audience to want to read more is there are there are different similarities between the whales. There are different similarities and differences between the whales and the dolphins, such as their definition, what they eat, how they breathe. Yeah, many.
I'm going to suggest to you that you begin by saying, although whales and dolphins have some similarities, finish that.
Although whales and dolphins have some similarities, they also have many differences.
Ah, so that will be your first sentence. Do you believe that sentence will really stir the motivation to read?
Yes.
Tell me why.
Because I'm giving them a general idea of the similarities and the differences, but I'm not digging too deep because I want them to become a little bit interested and curious about the similarities and the differences of the two whales and dolphins, something that they'll want to come back for and learn more about.
There you go. So the first sentence needs to get them, hook them, get them curious, get them involved. And I like the fact that you use the word idea,
Yes.
because we're going to ask you what is the main idea. The very first sentence should tell you what the main idea is for that paragraph. Every paragraph, has a main idea. Every paragraph has a main idea. And usually it's in that first sentence. The main idea tells you what the text is about. So I like that first sentence. Are you ready to write?
Yes.
Come on, let's go begin. We'll be back. Parents, Romel is off writing his essay. I stopped by, I checked on him, and I gave him the guidance to write that first paragraph, which is the introductory paragraph. The first paragraph. And remember, I asked Romel, I said, I need you to add, in addition to the transition words, the features. So I gave him the words to use to write the first paragraph. And I also asked him to make sure that that first sentence makes the reader want to read more. Hook that reader. Let's look and see what Romel wrote and how Romel hooked the reader. It says, although whales and dolphins may look similar and breathe in the same way, they are unlike in many other ways. That hooks the reader. Because the reader, Romel is telling them, okay, so we know that they look alike and they breathe in the same way, but there are many features and many other ways in which they are unlike. That makes us want to know more. So Romel used the words now under the features to actually complete that. He said, whales and dolphins are different in size and eat different kinds of foods, but they feed their babies similar things. So he gave an overview of size, what they eat, how they breathe, and how they take care of their animals, of their babies. So Romel could have used mammals. He could have said, although whales and dolphins are mammals, look similar and breathe in the same way, they are unlike in many other ways. Okay, I want you to pay attention to how Romel color-coded, because Romel had to decide what it is that he needed to address in the other paragraphs moving forward. So this is paragraph 1, which is the introductory paragraph. Paragraph 2, Romel talked about how they breathe. That was the first thing he said he talked about. So he had to go into detail about how they breathe. So he said that in paragraph 2, he's going to explain how they breathe, and he wants to remind himself that they do that similarly. And he has to remind himself that every paragraph has a topic sentence. So he wrote topic sentence, which is kind of the sentence that has the main idea that hooks the reader. So it kind of, if I say it has the main idea, it actually tells the reader what the paragraph is going to be about. And it hooks the reader. So he's developing that. So he color-coded different in size in blue, and then tell us that in this paragraph, color-coded in blue, that's what he's going to be addressing. Differences in size. Now in green, eat different kinds of foods in green, so he's telling us that that's what he will be addressing in paragraph 4, how and what they eat, differences. He color-coded feed their babies similar things in gray, and he said that that's what he'll be talking about in paragraph 5. So by doing this, especially if the child has a learning disability, by color coding, this reminds the child of what will be addressed in each paragraph. The fact that topic sentence is written there is a reminder to Romel that every paragraph has a topic sentence. Every paragraph has a topic sentence. Pretty much like paragraph 1 has its main topic sentence there, which gives you that main idea to tell you what that paragraph is about. So, paragraph 6 is a concluding paragraph. Here is a little trick that I need you to remind your kids about. Sometimes they're asked, what is the main idea of the entire text? You usually find it up here. It tells you what they'll be talking about, similarities and differences between whales and dolphins. And then sometimes at school they ask them about the main idea for the actual paragraph. Tell them to look in those topic sentences. So parents, every strategy we're using, I need you to use that. Romel is currently using it as he's writing. I'll be right back with Romel's completed essay. I'll be checking on him. See you in a few. Parents, Romel completed the comparing and contrasting essay. Here it is. We blew it up for you. So, remember we mentioned that Romel focused on the areas, he highlighted them so we would know what the paragraphs would be about. So, yellow, he highlighted breathe in the same way. Here are all the details to go with that. Blue has to do with size. All the details over there. In green, it's about how they eat different kinds of food. Here, all the supporting details. Feeding their babies similar things. There we have it, all the supporting detail. So it's color-coded for the student to follow along. This helps children to be organized in their writing. So please have your children use markers. As your children watch this video with you, point out to them that every paragraph has a topic sentence, and we bolded those. So here's the topic sentence for this paragraph. Even though whales and dolphins live in the great big ocean, they breathe through blowholes that sit on top of their heads. And then along came the supporting detail. Every paragraph has a topic sentence, and it is within that topic sentence you will find the main idea, telling you what that paragraph is going to be about. But the main idea for the entire essay would be found in the first paragraph. So, at this time, I will have Romel come on up and read his comparing and contrasting essay for us. Come on up, Romel. Go ahead.
Whales and Dolphins by Romel.
By who?
Romel.
Okay, Romel, the author.
Romel, the author. Although whales and dolphins are mammals, belong to the same family, and breathe in the same way, they are unlike in many other ways. Whales and dolphins are different in size and eat different kinds of foods, but they feed their babies similar things. Even though whales and dolphins live in great big ocean, they breathe through blowholes that sit on top of their heads. These blowholes are like the nose on human beings and are protected by large muscles that keep them closed when the whale and dolphin is underwater. This way, water does not get into their lungs. They have lungs just like human beings, and that is because they are mammals. Whales and dolphins always swim to the surface of the water to get air in their blowholes. All species of whales are large and different in size, yet they are all larger than all the dolphin species. The smallest adult dolphin, which is the Mau, is about 6 feet long, while the largest dolphin is about 31 feet long. The smallest of the whale species, minke whale, grows to about 35 feet long, while the largest of the species, blue whale, is about 98 feet long. Whales and dolphins may eat different types of foods, but different types of whales eat different things. For example, some whales have teeth and some do not. Those without teeth definitely eat fish and plankton that they can easily catch when they pull the water in their mouth, push it back out, and trap their food at the same time. It is interesting too that while the dolphins eat fish and squid, some will catch and eat small marine birds. Dolphins and whales feed their babies milk just like human beings do, but their babies do not hold on to their nipples the way human babies do. Both whales and dolphins have inverted nipples that the babies keep shoving on until those nipples come out. Once the nipples are no longer inverted, the whales and dolphins squirt out the milk to their babies. So although these mammals, whales and dolphins, look and breathe alike, they are different in many ways. Whales are different than dolphins in size and by what they eat, but they have a lot in common, such as the way they feed their babies.
Okay, thank you, Romel. So parents, if your child is able to write a comparing and contrasting essay, your child should be able to read a text and tell you if it is structured that way. Okay? So, Romel, want to say goodbye to your audience?
Goodbye, everyone. I hope you enjoyed author Romel.
Come join us in the Parent Cafe classroom and learn how to be your child's tutor.